and welcome. Welcome to this practice today where we're going to explore the theme or intention of the wisdom body. The wisdom body is one of the fourth koshas or layers and sheaths of our being. And when we are really connected to this place of inner wisdom, it is a place of inner guidance. And I find that particularly helpful for practicing our yoga asana, because think about it like following a recipe. So we all cook, well, maybe, but when we're cooking for the first time, we really follow step by step, quite diligently, a recipe, because we really don't have other knowledge, other wisdom, experience of that. And when we are first learning, we follow step by step, ingredient by ingredient, precisely. And sometimes the end result isn't exactly what we would prefer or what we were thinking or hoping. But through experience, the more we do it, the more wisdom we start to cultivate through experience, so that we don't have to follow the recipe exactly as it is. We can start adding some more flavor, and we can even start taking away and adding less, so that we come out with an end product that is exactly to our taste, exactly how we like it. So think about the same thing in your yoga practice. Whatever your teacher is offering you is only a list of ingredients, a method. But really it is through your own practice and a deep sense of connection and awareness in your practice that you become the masterful chef. And you really get out of your practice what you need. So everything I say, take it with literally a pinch of salt and just a way of guiding you. But really the work comes from when we get still enough, when we get connected enough, that we are working from a guidance that is coming from within ourselves, even if we're working in a class setting or through the instructions of a teacher. So I want you to practice that today when you're practicing. Just listening to my instructions, but always tuning in so that you're practicing from a place of inner wisdom, of inner guidance. And the more you practice that on the mat, the more you're able to tune into that wisdom body anytime off of the mat, so that we can move through the world, yes, taking advice, and yes, understanding and taking different information, but knowing how to use that information to discern that and to use our own wisdom, so that we have a sense of strong inner knowing, and we're not so reliant on others telling us how to do things, and we can really work from within. So let's put that into practice. Before we begin though, let's just take a moment to just absorb that, contemplate that. Come to close your eyes, sitting with the spine nice and tall. Tuning into the breath. Every time we turn towards the breath, it's as if we are coming back home. And you can have your hands resting on your knees, or sometimes I like to take this contemplating mudra of resting left hand on top of right in the lap. And as we're tuning into the breath, just checking in with our physical body, that first kosha or layer of our being, and just noticing how the physical body is feeling in this moment, how it's feeling today. And then check in with the energy body, through the pranic body, through the breath that really opens up this layer to our awareness. How are you breathing today? How does your energy feel? Do you feel light? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel expansive, contracted? And check in to notice where we are in our mind and in our heart. What is the activity of the mind? Is it busy? Is it full of chatter, distraction? Is the mind agitated? Or is it calm? Is it already beginning to soothe and move more towards settling and stillness just by checking in with the breath? And how is the heart? How are you feeling today as you come to your mat? And just listening to all of that information. And perhaps noticing how just by listening, without having to fix or analyze, just by listening, things begin to settle. And cultivating a deeper and stronger connection to self. Cultivating a relationship with self. And from there, we'll start to move into our practice. Let's just sweep the arms, widen up, a big inhale. Feel the sides of the body get long. And a big exhale, take the arms back down by your side. And again, inhale, take the arms widen up. And exhale, take the arms down. On your next inhale, take the arms up. Leave just the right hand on the floor, and you're going to stretch up that left side and come over to your right. And then just using your own intuition to see how deeply you want to go over to that right. Maybe we're staying high so that there's more space and lift. Or maybe you're starting to bend the elbow towards the ground, the forearm to the ground. Can you sink still into that left hip? And can you feel the sides of that left waist opening? Creating space between each intercostal muscle, all the way up to the armpit. Relaxing the neck, maybe even checking in on the neck to make sure it's not tensing. And then on your next inhale, coming all the way up, and exhale, hand to the floor. Breathe in, right side. Open, stretch to the sky, and take your side bend. Again, just using your own awareness of how deep you need to go. And really asking yourself, does this serve me? And I tend to see the two sides of the coin, the two extreme opposites. Either people really try to get as deeply as they can, thinking that's always the best way, or sometimes people just go really shyly into the pose. And I have no idea what one's best for you. Only you know that. But just ask yourself, does it really serve me? And sometimes we only know by trying both ways. We gain experience by trying. Inhale, come all the way back up, and exhale, take the hands to the floor. Inhale, take the arms to the sky. Interlace your fingers, flip the palms up to the ceiling, and press the hands skyward. Hug the biceps towards your ears, and then feel as if you're trying to pull your fingers away from each other. Beautiful. Just feel that opening through the shoulders, through the chest, space for the lungs to fully inhale and exhale. Then you're going to bring your hands down in front of your heart. Palms are still facing away from you. Press into those hands again, and this time start to curl your chin towards your chest. Curl the tailbone under so that you're rounding your back. Inhale, open. Lift the arms to the sky, exhaling to round. Push the backs of your ribs to the wall behind you. Inhale, open, lift, and last time, exhale, curl, tailbone under, chin to chest, round the back, inhaling to lift, and exhaling, arms come down to the sides. Let's ease into the shoulders and the neck. Drop the chin towards the chest. Feel the back of the neck stretch. Maybe even take your fingertips to the back of the head. Draw the chin more in towards the chest. And then as you next inhale, you're going to lean the head into the hands, open the elbows, so the head is weighing back into the hands. The hands are gently pressing against the head. Exhale, draw the elbows in, round the back, chin to chest. Inhaling, open. Elbows open, head lies into the hands. Last time. Exhale, elbows curl in, chin to chest. Inhaling to open. Big, beautiful breath, and then come to neutral. Take your hands behind your back. You're going to interlace them, and then take your hands, so they're together, take them over to the left hip. Good. So your left elbow is sticking out, that right shoulder is down. Now breathe in, lift the chest. As you exhale, take your left ear to your left shoulder and pause here. Relax the shoulder, relax the face. And this right shoulder is moving more and more away from that right ear. Inhale, come back to center. Switch sides. You're going to pull the hands from behind you over to the right hip. And it's kind of just setting there on the right hip. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, right ear towards that right shoulder. The left shoulder is sinking down. Trying not to collapse in the spine, but staying lifted. And then inhale, back to center. Beautiful. Unravel your hands. Take them up to the sky one more time. Bring them together, maybe even a little look up to the thumbs and exhale. This time take your hands to your knees. And we're just going to rock back and forth on our sit bones. So first, rock back. That's the easiest, most comfortable for some. Then you can feel that you're kind of rounding here. Do a little squeeze so your shoulders round forward. You squeeze the belly back and in. And then you're going to inhale, pull forward. Open the chest. This is like cat-cow. So you're going to exhale. This would be like your cat stretch. Rolling behind the sit bones, and inhale, roll in front of the sit bones. Pull against the knees so that you open. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhaling to pull forward. Good. Now keep pulling the chest forward, but you're going to lean forward as much as you can. And then you're going to go over to your side and then create that little bit of rounding as you go back. And then pull forward. Inhale. So you're now making some big circles around your hips. Exhaling as you go back. Inhaling as you go forward. Reverse it. Go the other way. Inhaling and exhale. Inhaling and exhale. Now the next time you come to the center, stop. Inhale, lift the chest. Walk your hands forward and then start to come down into a fold. So it doesn't matter. You might just be here. Your fold might look more like this. Or you might really walk yourself into that fold and you might be all the way down. You might be somewhere in between. But again, this is just a list of ingredients and you're just picking and choosing what really is going to suit you. And maybe you even add something else and substitute once in a while. But the only way we really know is by trying. Wisdom is gained through experience. Feel the breath through the back body. Feel your ribs inflating as you breathe and deflating as you exhale. And just letting everything get quiet, center, heavy, still. And then walk your hands back. We're going to switch. So whatever leg is in front, we're going to switch that over and around so that we can stretch out the opposite hip. Whatever leg's in front, that's the hip you work more on. Holding on to your knees with your hands. First, let's just go back into that rounding, chin towards the chest, curl the tailbone under. Then feel the opposite open. And then start to take a circle. So go over to one way, lean back, rounding the spine. Inhaling to pull forward. And close your eyes and just really feel what's going on in the body. Notice if this side is different than the last. Reverse, go the opposite way. Feel and tune into the breath. Always making sure that breath is flowing gracefully with ease, without being hesitant or blocking in any way. And the next time you come forward, we're going to just lift the chest a little bit. Take our hands out in front of us and find where you need to be. And again, it could be just a little lean, or it could be all the way down. And often our bodies are not symmetrical as we think, at least not in the form of how they feel anyway. Sometimes we find that one side is much tighter than the other. One side is more reluctant than the other. But go deep into your practice, trying to not be distracted by the mind who wants to take you somewhere else, who doesn't want to be here, usually. And try to overcome that by deepening your awareness to the breath and your awareness to the sensations you're feeling through this movement. And then slowly, let's come back up. Walk your hands back towards your legs. And then this time we're going to take our hands behind us. Take your feet to the floor. And we're just going to do little pulses with the chest. So walking your hands back a little bit further than the shoulders. Spread the fingers. And if this doesn't feel good in your wrist, you can always turn them to another direction. You're going to press into your arms and lift the chest so that you feel this nice stretch across the chest and the shoulders. The back of the neck is nice and long. And then you're just going to let the chest sink back down. Inhaling, pressing straight into the arms, lift the chest, lift the ribs, and exhale, just let that sink. One more time, inhale. And we might even stay here. This might be a good place for us to be. Or we might begin to slowly lift the hips up to the sky, trying to get into a nice tabletop, a nice level table. Keep pressing into those hands, into the arms to feel that lift, to feel the shoulders stretch. And then gently lie yourself back down to the floor. And then we're going to walk ourselves up. Straightening the legs now. We're going to come into Dandasana first. So the hands are right beside the hips. The legs are nice and straight. Pull the toes back and activate them. This is great for posture, so your spine is really upright and lengthened. The back of the neck is lengthened. The chin pulls gently in and back. Good. Feel how strong that is in your body. And then inhale, take the arms up. A soft bend in the knees. Exhaling, you're going to come into a fold for a moment just to feel it. And then inhale, back out. Good. So now I want you to feel that you're walking yourself on top of your sit bones, eventually in front of them. So that's why I'm kind of shuffling my legs back. Maybe you have to bend your knees. Maybe you can do that with your legs straight. Really just see what works for your body. Inhale again. Lift up, and as you exhale, go forward. Just to feel the stretch through the legs. And then inhale back up. Good. See if you can walk the sit bones back just a little bit more. Get a little bit taller, and then exhale. Go into that forward fold. Maybe you find the feet. Maybe you don't. Maybe you stop here. Maybe this is your pose, and that's fine. As long as you're feeling opening through the backs of your legs and you're not feeling tension, compression, or pulling in your back. That's important here. Relax the shoulders, close your eyes, and just tune into the body. And the more you tune in, the more you will be able to know what refinements you need to make to create more space. You'll perhaps go, if I lift my rib cage up a little bit, I can feel like I'm decompressing the lower spine. Maybe my shoulders are tense and I need to soften them. Maybe I'm not breathing a little bit. Maybe I'm shallowing or shortening the breath here. These are the little insight, wisdom moments I want you to have with yourself. This little conversation. Constantly tuning in, asking how you're feeling. What are you feeling? How can you improve this pose? Not by making it super deep and intense, but how can you make it feel good and more spacious so that it opens us up? Take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, slowly reach those arms back to the sky. Exhale, hands to the floor. Now we're going to take the legs wide. I'm just turning so you can see me better. We're going to take the legs nice and wide. I'm going to sit up on a cushion because my floor is very cold. I'm going to sit up on a cushion, but you might do that too. And by sitting on a cushion, it actually helps to align the pelvis more to a forward tilted position, anterior tilt. So my knees and the toes are up to the sky, but you might want to have a little bend in your knees to create a forward fold that is more possible in your body. However, if the knees are able to be straight, then that's fine. Never locked though. We always want to make sure that we're not kind of seeing this backwards curve in the leg for those of us who are more mobile, flexible in our joints. Good. Let's take our hands just in front of us for a moment. Feel or even close your eyes and imagine this lengthening upwards from the sit bones to the top of our head. That spine is growing. And then lean into the pose a little bit more. Pause. Check in. How can we create a little bit more space? Are we tensing? And then lean into it a little bit more. And perhaps you're not really moving very far every time I say lean into it. Perhaps you are. Again, close your eyes and just really feel what your body needs today. And this is a big one for a lot of people. A lot of us are just going to be here, and just by leaning the weight forward, we can already feel a lot happening in the inner thighs and the groin, so just stay there. Check in with the shoulders. Make sure they're not tense and they're easy to manipulate still, to relax. Same with the head. So perhaps you're way upright, or perhaps you're way down, forehead is on the ground. There is no right way. There's no expected way. It's just your way. What is going to serve your body right now? And it's that middle place. It's not too much. It's not too little. And then slowly walk your hands back in. Good. And we're going to bend the right knee, connecting this right foot to the inner thigh of your left leg. Take your left hand to the inside, to the floor on the inside of the left leg. And then you're going to reach the right arm open as you turn, so you're twisting towards the bent knee. Inhale, reach up. Beautiful. I was just fighting off a sneeze there. Reach up the right arm to the sky. And maybe this is what's going to feel good for us. And I find this pose is very challenging for most because we really want to go deep into it. But let's just really use the wisdom of our bodies to see how far we actually need to go here. We're going to start to work the left hand towards the left ankle. So now you're starting to side bend over the left leg. That right arm can either stay directly upright, reaching towards the ceiling. It can stay here, it can. Or you can take that right arm over the ear, which is going to open up the right side body more. Turning the ribs towards the sky Now, here again, you could come all the way down. You can hold on to the toes and spin the ribs and the chest to the sky. You can. You can equally just be here. And sometimes I even just like to take that right arm over the head, and then almost like I'm catching my head with my hand, making a little basket. Then I can lean back to ensure that I'm opening. And there's always this little twist of the rib cage towards the sky. And a good way to measure if you're really in the pose that you need to be in, if you're really far enough that you need to be today, check in with your breath. That biofeedback of your breath is going to tell you if you're straining, if you're just causing more struggle than you are ease. So take a breath here, and if it's hesitant at all, if you notice that you're not actually breathing, it's a good sign to come out a little bit or support yourself. And then we're going to inhale, take that top arm up, boop, just to release it, take the right hand to the floor. Left arm is going to come up, so we're going to do the opposite. And I really like to push into that right hand, just to lift into that right knee. Nice big stretch here. Stretching out to that left side body. And then let's sit back onto our sit bones, switch sides. So the right leg's going to extend. Left foot comes to the inner thigh. Right hand comes down onto the inside of that right leg. Start the twist, turn towards the left knee, reach the left arm to the sky, and then see where you need to be. No one is judging you right now. No one is marking your score, how flexible you are. No one here is signing you up for the Circus Soleil. So really, it's not a competition, and we can be surprisingly just competitive with ourselves. If you're really deep into it, that's fantastic. It doesn't necessarily mean you're competitive, it just means that you're really open in your body. But if you're here, it doesn't mean that you're any less of a yogi because your body is a bit tighter. Actually, they have shown that flexibility can be a curse. The more flexible we are, the more tendencies we have to have joint problems, lower back problems. We lack stability and structure. So be grateful if you're tight. And be mindful if you're super, super bendy and flexible. Sometimes it's not always the best thing to go deep as we can into a pose. Take one more breath there. And then slowly come out of that, lifting back up. Take the left hand to the floor, off to the side, slightly behind. Right arm comes up to the sky. Push into that left arm to lift the hips. And then exhale. Boop. Bum comes back to the floor. Let's come onto our backs now. Nice and easy. Rolling ourselves down one vertebra at a time. When we get there, just stretch the body nice and long. Take the arms behind you, stretch the legs forward, and pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Just gentle rocks from side to side. Maybe even making a few circles with your knees in the sky. Good. And then we're going to take the knees separated. Separate. Hold on to the inner ankles. And as you let the knees push open, just start to circle the ankles a few times in each direction. And reverse if you haven't done so already. The shoulders are heavy, the head is heavy, the neck is relaxed. Then we're going to come into a happy baby pose, as we've already opened up some of the inner hamstrings, backs of the thighs. Let's see if we can go a little bit deeper into our happy baby pose. So options here, you can just hold on to your ankles as you already are, or if you can reach your feet a little bit more easily, hold over the tops of your feet, wrapping your fingers around the outer edges of your feet. Then we're going to start to lift the feet upwards towards the sky. Now, if you can no longer hold your feet and do that, then you can come down and just hold on to your ankles. Kind of holding and pulling down. Let your elbows and arms get heavy. And same if you're holding your feet. Kind of pull down. Let the arms get heavy. And at the same time, push your feet upwards to the sky. And that might traction your lower back to the floor and the tailbone to the floor, the sacrum to the floor. The legs are wide, so rather than the feet being together, they're wide and open. And then maybe there's a gentle rock from side to side. And perhaps we need to add a little bit more of that traction. Now there's an opportunity to just stay here. Or there's an opportunity to take your two peace fingers around the big toes, the middle finger and the pointer finger. Then you're going to start to perhaps open those legs a little bit wider to more of a straighter position. And it's okay if they don't make it all the way straight. If there's still a bend in the knee, perfect. But maybe it's possible for some to extend the legs open. So now you're in that wide V shape that we had in our seat, now on our back. And again, a little rock from side to side here. Just practicing to what you need. And then drawing the legs back into the body. Hug the knees in. Open your arms, and we're going to take a twist. Opening the arms, back to the hands to the floor. Drop your knees over to one side. And let your head turn to whatever degree is comfortable and possible. Sometimes we're advised to turn to look all the way over to our left hand, but for some people that's a lot of work for their neck. So let your head just find its most comfortable position. Ideally, it would be twisting away from the knees, but see where it's possible. Think of like that left shoulder, letting that left shoulder lie heavy on the ground. And the breath slow and deep. The knees and the feet are fully touching the floor. The ground is holding the legs. And if not, add a pillow or a blanket or some kind of prop to support them. And just slowing down the breath. Nice release for the lower back. On your next inhale, lift the left knee up. Then follow it around with the right. Bring both knees back together and let them fall down towards the left side. And then activate that twist a little bit more in the upper body. Maybe a little lift of the shoulders to help them rotate. And find where your head wants to be. If there needs to be support for those legs, take that. And then on your next inhale, bring the knees back to the sky. Take your feet to the floor. And before we go into our Savasana, we're just going to do one more little release for the back, a very gentle movement, arching and flattening the back. So with your knees bent, feet to the floor, I want you just to lift the lower back off the floor. Your butt is still down. We don't lift the hips like a bridge pose. We're actually just creating a gap here, so you could slide your hand underneath your lower back easily. And then do the opposite and flatten your lower back. It's as if you were about to just lift up into that bridge pose. And then you're going to do the same thing again. Arch the lower back and then flatten the lower back, engaging through the abdomen. One more time, a little arch of the back. And exhale, flattening. Good. Then find a neutral spine. Find somewhere in between, not arching, not flattening. Relax, neutral spine, and then extend your legs from there. And as you extend your legs, just wave your feet a few times so that your legs are rolling in and out, in and out, in and out. And then let them find a neutral place. Let them stop and just relax, finding a place that they're happy to be in, somewhere between in and out. And then start to walk your shoulders down away from your ears, maybe a little wiggle, and find where you need to be there. Perhaps rolling the palms of the hands up to the sky. And then just taking any last refinements that you need in your body to be comfortable here. And then tuning back into the breath. Slow, deep breath. A smooth, rhythmical breath. And feel the heaviness of your body melting towards the ground, completely soft, relaxed, and in complete ease and peace. Diving deeper below the surface of the body and the mind, into the stillness that is in the depths, just like as we dive below the surface of the water, which is agitated and turned up by the wind. The deeper we dive under the sea, under the surface, the more peaceful, the more calm, quiet it becomes. Swimming through with the breath, diving below the surface, connecting deeper and deeper to the depths of the self. And it is here that you might find that place of bliss, of pure unconditional joy, peace, contentment. that place that we feel, we connect to when all feels right. Not meaning all is right, but it's that feeling that all is okay. That deep knowing that all is okay. All is well. Take one more big breath here. A big sigh. Slowly and gently reanimate your body. Stretching into the fingers, the toes, a stretch and a yawn as you reach the arms behind you. And pulling the knees into the chest, into the body. Giving yourself a nice big squeeze and hug. And then coming to lie over onto one side, just taking a moment there. And just tuning into how you're feeling as we transition from Savasana back to our seat. And seeing if we can carry with us a little bit of that space as we now come back to our seat. And as you arrive into your seat, settle there again for a moment, resting either the hands on the knees or back in the lap. And maybe, perhaps, there is more quiet, more stillness. Not always. Sometimes we need more time. Sometimes the mind is too agitated. And if that's the case, practice more. Rather than running away and giving up, practice more. And if you are in that place of stillness, if you were able to dive deeper than the surface of the mind and its thinking, perhaps you've reached that place of the wisdom body. And it is from here that clarity comes, that insight comes, that understanding comes. The mind is just a bunch of facts and knowledge. And the wisdom is what we do with that, the discernment that comes from experience. But it is here too that we connect to a place even deeper than our intuition and intellect. There's this universal wisdom. So it's now that we're in this space that's a good time to ask for guidance, for the answers, without thinking, and see if anything comes up from this well of wisdom. Plant the seed there. not thinking, just being in that still and quiet space. We leave the seed and we do nothing more. It might flower today, tomorrow, the next, patiently waiting and trusting in our own inner guidance and knowing. And if you're ready to finish the practice, bring your hands to your heart, and then to your head, and then bowing those two places together so they unite. And if you're still in your practice, stay as long as you wish. And thank you for choosing me as your teacher tonight, as your guide, as your friend, as your fellow practitioner. Thank you so much. Namaste.